Emotion management. It's no good, I telepathically texted my wearable fitness coach between several subconsciously structured intervals of abstract dreaming, for I shan't be setting one heel nor wheel upon real ground until those tremulous move alerts have vibrated your tenacious haptic engine into another discharged stupor. And besides, for every personalised bar you set, a certain other fruit-branded exercise tracking platform requires that I round off at least 3 activity rings. And around 60 itchy-footed minutes of restless soul-searching later, "Have faith," murmured one God-fearing herring gull, wandering amongst the weathered gravestones of St. Mary's churchyard, its unkempt plumage camouflaged beneath a capricious collage of vibrant shades and illusory shadows, rendered by incandescent flames and leafy canapes. "I'm sorry," I lamented, over the seashore's lilting lullaby, but very few leaps of that transcendent mental state remain in this heavy heart. Hence, until my spirits lift a little higher than tonight's tangibly autumnal temperature, 20 more kilometres of lumpy pedal strokes will have to fill your bill. Pause for thought. To those of us blessed with golden ears, the sound of silence is a deafening myth, howled a vulpine voice at Earth's thinly veiled moon, at a high enough volume to shatter the cracked window pane of a nearby nesting box, which, according to the Night Critters Gazette, had been installed by local residents as part of a crowd-funded philanthropic scheme to reverse Shoreham's sharply declining population of house sparrows. Unverified reports suggest that what was once one of Britain's most common garden birds, and known to music-loving ornithologists as the feathered philharmonic's chirpy percussionist, has long been placed on the RSPB's slightly endangered list, due to a steady decrease in their numbers since the early 1970s, when a commensurate spike in starlings was recorded, who allegedly took to strumming the same overhead telephone wires. And with that little nugget of whimsical escapism, it's over to Strava's performance-skewed motion analysts. Please, go dig some noteworthy stats from the superficial data of this resolutely recreational role, if your neurally trained algorithms dare. Rolling rambles. If variety is the spice of life, then let consistency be its starchy staple. A crudely concocted proverb that might well have evolved from one of cyberspace's linguistically disposed content generators, had I felt the need to utilize what most old-school academics would classify as performance-enhancing algorithms. In truth, this sustenance-themed adage struck me during several soft-pedal revolutions, somewhere between kilometre 10 and mile 9, in that order, of this casually clad coastal cruise across territory so familiar that Rip Van Winkle could ride it backwards, even after his 20-year slumber. In terms of the non-interrupted state of unconsciousness that modern society's plethora of health monitoring devices would claim to be hygienic sleep, I achieved roughly 0.002% of what the legendary Dutch narcoleptic managed throughout his 2-decade-long coma, and awoke no better prepared for the avalanche of urgent text messages and toxic news alerts informing me that global warfare may be imminent unless various world-leading politicians can sever their diplomatic ties with the omnipresent arms trade, and iOS 26.4 will attempt to reinstall this coming midnight, for the 10th time. Reflect and record. Past a busking trombonist towards the end of my twisty traverse home, who was performing an eclectic playlist that included numerous contemporary chart hits and Showtime classics, alongside one or two songs made famous by a certain blue-eyed crooner with mafia connections. Hearing the slurry notes emitted by this characterful brass instrument in place of emotive lyrics lent the music an offbeat and comedic undertone, as though the vocalist had forgotten its lyrics, but still somehow managed to murmur their way through the melody in near-perfect pitch. A similar claim could be made for the trio of caged cockerels I observed, who were evidently hunting for Easter eggs upon the verdant common opposite Kingston Broadway, and bugling their signature wake-up call in a resonant round-robin arrangement above the humdrum drone of bank holiday weekend traffic. Such is strife. So far, so steady. So the mortally attuned motion models employed by Strava's machine-managed fitness service would no doubt interpret every pivotal metric attributed to this dual-wheeled dash for soft cash and a dog-eared post-it note of niche nosh to satisfy the critical nutritional needs of belated Easter feasters. No reference whatsoever would be made to the ethereal tapestry of silken cirrus veils and sun-kissed salmon scales that I observed spread across a radiant morning sky over the monumental form of Shoreham's power station, whose titanic gas turbine continues to pump out roughly 209,999,900% more disposable energy into Britain's buckling national grid than the 200 guesstimated watts I averaged throughout 45 top-tempo minutes. Instantly regretted my decision to go sleeveless for the first time this year, after feeling the pronounced sting of Brotherly Southerly's flag-bothering bluster burrow through every pore of my exposed skin. Though at least the moisture-proof properties of my heavily padded torso armour weren't stress-tested by any premature April showers, and protected my chill-prone chest.